You should tell the narcissist what they do from here on out is no longer your concern. The fact that they don't care about anything or very little is not your problem anymore. Their lack of empathy is not your burden. You can't make them care. If you are an empathic soul, you probably concern yourself with lots of things concerning others. Lots of people's problems become yours by default because you're so caring, you're so loving, you're so kind, you're so compassionate, you're so faithful, you're so loyal. But where do you draw the line? What is it that finally makes you say, enough is enough? What is your limit? When is it too much? When do you decide to let it go and wash your hands? When is it that you stop carrying the weight, carrying the load, fixing the issue? What is it about you that made you pick up a problem that didn't even belong to you? If someone caught you right dab in the middle of your acts of empathy, what would they find you doing? Number one, they'd find you trying to figure things out, trying to figure out why this person does not have empathy. Two, they will find you pouring empathy from your cup. And three, they will find you compensating and overcompensating. You are a beautiful, dear, empathic soul. And you're also Curious George. You want to know, why does this person not have empathy? Why does a narcissist not have empathy? You want to figure it out because to you, it doesn't make sense. You think empathy is a basic human trait. You expect most people to have empathy. And you can't figure out for the life of you why a narcissist doesn't. Therefore, you make it your mission to figure it out, to solve the puzzle, to resolve the great mystery. What you didn't understand initially was that the lack of empathy is demonic. You didn't understand that a demonic entity had taken over and set up shop within this narcissist. You didn't understand that the narcissist had been turned over to a reprobated mind. A reprobate is an unprincipled person. You're empathetic. You have principles. Therefore, you cannot understand someone who doesn't. A reprobate is a sinner that is predestined for damnation. You don't like to see anybody suffer. You don't like to see anybody perish. And this is the empathic nature of you that keeps you trying to understand someone who is not like you, someone who is not empathic. A reprobated mind is a person that is evil, that has a habit of doing evil. A narcissist has hardened their heart against God. Your heart is soft towards the things of God. A narcissist denies the truth. You walk in truth. You walk in truth because you know that God is the truth. A narcissist is reprobated in that they don't have the ability to discern between right and wrong, but you do. And you can't spend the rest of your life trying to figure out why they don't understand. The narcissist has a perpetually rebellious spirit that you will never understand. You have the desire in your heart to be obedient towards the things of God, towards God's word. Your conscience is not seared, but a narcissist is. Therefore, you will never understand them. You will never understand why they are devoid of empathy. There comes a point when we have to stop trying to figure it out and figure them out. We have to accept the fact that they made their choice and so did we. God says, choose you this day whom you will serve. And the narcissist has made their choice. Stop trying to figure out their choice. and focus on yours. Your choice has been to walk towards God, so continue to do so. Don't go backwards trying to figure out why the narcissist is not going with you. The second thing that you do is you try to pour your empathy into a non-empathetic person. You try to pour from your empathic cup over into the empty cup of a narcissist, and it's something that can't be done. It doesn't really matter how much kindness you try to show a narcissist, how much compassion. They won't return it to you. It will be a complete dog out, a complete disregard for all of the wonderful gifts that you give them. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You cannot expect love and empathy back from a person that doesn't have it to give to you. You can't teach them and show them empathy. They don't have a willingness to learn. They don't want to come over to your side. You cannot pour out all of your empathy upon them and expect them to have some just because you've done that. You cannot waste yourself away trying to pour into the empty cup of a narcissist. They are a bottomless pit that will never be filled. You cannot try to give them any rest or restoration. There will be no rest for the wicked. You can't teach them empathy. You can't expect for empathy to just rub off on them because you are around them. It doesn't work like that. They either have it or they don't. It's either in their heart or not. You have empathy because you have a clean heart. Narcissist doesn't. You've asked God to create in you a clean heart. The narcissist doesn't care anything about that. They're okay with running around with a corrupt heart. They think that that corrupt heart is the key to getting what they want in life. You cannot take on their corrupt heart as a project for you to fix. You cannot put their broken pieces back together. The last thing that you try to do is you try to compensate or overcompensate for the narcissist's lack of empathy. You try to do everything yourself. You try to carry the entire relationship on your own. You take up all of their slack. You do all of the things that they refuse to do. You end up burning yourself out. You find yourself trying to pay for their sins. The punishment that is due to a narcissist, you take it upon yourself. You get in the way of their suffering. You get in the way of their recompense. You put yourself in harm's way. All of these things you do, making their lack of empathy your burden. It is true that the strong must bear the infirmities of the weak. But it is also true that God will not put more on you than you can bear. And a narcissist is simply too much to bear. God does say, bear one another's burdens. But a narcissist is way more than a burden. Narcissists are not open to operate in the fruit of the Spirit because they are operating in the works of the flesh. This type of burden you can't carry, and this type of problem you can't take upon yourself. A narcissist will never accept you. Therefore, you have to kick the dirt off your feet and move on. You've been busy trying to understand that narcissist without realizing that the darkness of a narcissist will never comprehend your light. The two of you will never have any understanding. The two of you will never agree. God says his yoke is easy and his burden is light. God's yoke is easy, which is why he told you, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Being with a narcissist is not easy. Being burdened down with all the hurt and the pain of a narcissist is not light. That type of burden you have to lay at the feet of Jesus and leave it there. God's burden is light because he is the truth, the way, and the light. Therefore, walk into the marvelous light.